this was on my heart, so I wanted to make this quick video. So in church today, my pastor preached about forgiveness, and it just had me thinking about how we as the church, we talk so much about forgiveness, but I think sometimes we miss such a very important picture of what forgiveness truly is. We know that Jesus did say, if you don't forgive, that your Father won't forgive you. But I don't believe that it is, if we are intent and forgiven, that we will not reach that destination. And what I mean is that too often we spend so much time saying, I forgive this person, I forgive this person, I forgive this person, until it becomes repetitive. And, years could go by and you're still trying to forgive someone because you don't know that you have forgiven them. Now, I personally believe that forgiveness isn't as difficult as we make it seem. Forgiveness isn't this insurmountable mountain that we are, always endeavoring to climb, because so often in the church, we talk about the same things, but we don't really have, like a result. Like, if you are intent on forgiving someone, what would it be? What is the cause that you are not able to reach your destined, your forgiveness destination? What is preventing you from forgiving that person? And I think we just keep saying, I forgive you, I forgive you, I forgive you, without seeing results. Now, personally, I've had situations where I had to forgive, many different people in my life, because I'm usually not the troublemaker. I really am not. And I don't cause trouble only because I intend on having such a good relationship with God. And I know that if I ever allow bitterness to, take over any part of my life, then I cannot enjoy the good relationship that I have with God. So I always try very, very hard to forgive people when they do wrong to me. And so recently I was struggling with forgiving someone, and God had to help me to get to that place of healing. And even when I was at that place of healing, I was still having issues, and God had to walk me through the steps how to completely let go. But what I really wanted to say, because I was thinking about it in church today, about sometimes when someone hurts you, it's not that you haven't forgiven them. It's just that the place that they have hurt hasn't healed. Like, someone could do something to you and you fully intent and forgiven them and have forgiven them, but the place that they've hurt has not healed. And it's, we have this idea that just because you say you forgive them, or just because you have forgiven them, means that the pain is going to instantly go away. And that is not true. So what we have to do is to pray for while you're praying to forgive someone, while you're praying that God help you to forgive someone, you have to also pray that the wounds that they've caused you by the things that they're doing to you will be healed. Because you can get to a place of forgiveness and not realize that you have forgiven them, because the wounds that they have caused you have not healed. And they have not healed because you haven't presented them to God for healing. So don't just pray for God to help you to forgive that person, or don't just focus and just forgiving them. Pray also to heal the damage that they're done. And if someone is causing you trauma, like if someone is literally hurting you, don't allow that to continue. Get yourself out of that space. Don't allow anyone to traumatize you. Don't allow anyone to treat you like they're doormat, because that is not what God intended. We have to forgive people no matter what they do, but you are not supposed to be a doormat. And even while we think that the time may have passed, you haven't addressed the issues that you have with yourself. Because if you're allowing yourself to be a doormat, then the issue is not with them, it is with you. Last year I had a situation where God allowed me to be in a place way too long, where someone was treating me very unfairly, and it wasn't my fault. And it took me a long time to understand what was going on. So while that whole time was going on, this person was hurting me and I was constantly being hurt. So when God allowed me to leave that situation, I had pain, I had trauma from that situation, and I had forgiven them because I had spent all that time while I was there forgiving them, praying for forgiveness for them. And I had seen God, even bless them while I'm praying for forgiveness for them. But there I was being hurt by the situation. And I was constantly putting myself in a situation where someone was damaging me. And until I left that situation, I could not see the damage it was causing to me because I was so focused and doing battle to forgive them that I didn't see the damage that it was causing me. And so I had to allow God into that space, to heal me. Because until you allow him to heal you from the damage that someone is doing, you will constantly say, I forgive them, when you have already forgiven them, but you don't know that you have because that place that they have hurt has not healed. So we need to allow ourselves to heal. While you're praying for them to be healed, to be forgiven, pray for yourself to also be healed. Now, I have another story where someone was trying to take advantage of me. And it was because I was in a vulnerable place, and this person saw an opportunity where he could just take advantage of me because, I was vulnerable. And when I found out what was going on, I was very upset about it. And so God came to me and he was like, forgive him. And it didn't go on. Nothing really happened, but only that my feelings got hurt. My feelings got hurt and I was, angry, but I let it go and quickly let it go because nothing happened. Before any trauma could set in, before he could have done anything to really cause me any physical damage or anything like that, I found out what he was doing. So I was able to quickly forgive him and let it go. But had it became a situation where I was, subjected to abuse long term, it would have produced trauma in my life, and I would have to then heal from the trauma, or whatever circumstances, that would have resulted as his actions towards me. I don't know what he intended, but had I not been able to realize, what he was planning, and I had gotten caught in that situation, it would have caused damage in my life in some way, and I would have to heal from it. And who knows the level of damage it would have, caused. So what I'm saying is that there are different situations that people can cause you. If someone, attacks you physically, yes, you can forgive them, but you still have to heal from that physical wound. So I feel that as a church, we just say, forgive them, but you have to know that you need to be healed. Jesus talked about, when someone does something wrong to you, about going to confront that person and telling them what they have done wrong so that you can, work it out. But a lot of times we just think that we don't have to do those things. Like we don't have to take corrective measures. You do have to take corrective measures in certain situations. Sometimes you can't just let it go and move on until you have dealt with the situation or even talk it out. Because just, quietly sitting around saying, I forgive you, is not going to produce results. So, and that was what I wanted to share. It was on my heart to share this word. And I just hope that it helps someone, because we are always going to be faced with, challenges, and people are always going to be do things, to us or to offend us or to cause us harm. But just know that if you are in a situation where you're praying for someone to be forgiven, pray for yourself also, and be aware that they don't cause you, damage that you have to, spend too much time healing from.